Hey guys, I want to take a quick second to talk to you about shoulder pain as well as poor posture in the upper body and how you can address it with a good training program. So some of the major things that we could end up experiencing with shoulder pain might be from forward shoulder, hyperkyphosis, also known as hunchback, and this kind of forward head posture that's becoming quite too prevalent in today's society between all the driving, the computer work, sitting on our phone that we do. And there's a few things that you can do in your training program to help address it. So first of all, let's just talk about how all the tissues in the front have gotten really contracted and short because we're constantly being pulled into this position. And a lot of the tissues, the musculature and the fascia and the connective tissues on your back have been overstretched. And it takes the shoulder girdle and puts it all out of alignment. It opens you up for shoulder impingement, anterior shoulder pain because the humeral head is kind of jammed in the front of the socket and starting to hit the labrum a bit. You might also notice if your pecs are really tight and pec minor, you might have a little bit of nerve entrapment and these weird kind of feelings going through your arms, as well as just neck pain, upper middle back kind of uncomfortable feelings, and it's just all around unpleasant. And quite often I've noticed when I've had some of these issues flare up, it can really affect my regular workout if I don't know how to change my program to actually help undo them rather than making them worse. So here's a couple of things that I like to have my members as well as myself do to stay out of pain. So the first thing we need to do is to start getting those tissues that are short and tight to loosen up. So I might take a tennis ball or a foam roller and start working to get the trigger points and the knots out of the pecs and pec minor. Might also foam roll the anterior delt. And sometimes you might even want to go see a good rolfer because over time some of the fascia and the connective tissues on the front might even be just kind of tight and pulling down and even restricting you from getting up nice and tall. Perhaps you've had a C-section scar and some of that might be a little bit locking down and keeping you from being able to fully stand up tall, as well as some other types of abdominal surgeries that could be an issue. So for those issues, I definitely recommend you go find a good massage therapist to work on them. But for yourself, you can still get the tennis ball and the foam roller in there to get a lot of the musculature loosened up. Then we want to stretch it to get back into better alignment. And then once we start getting to be able to free up and move a little bit better, we also want to be able to get your T-spine into better extension, right? So now we're starting to free the musculature to get the shoulders back. But if you're still kind of hunched over and got too much kyphosis in your upper back, we can use like a peanut, which is 2 tennis balls taped together, to help increase some of the mobilization between those vertebrae to get into better extension and to allow you to stand up taller. And once we start getting back into this position, we now need to add strength in order to keep us there, because it's really not enough to keep saying to yourself, stand up tall, shoulders back. You actually need to use the time in the gym to build that structure so you don't have to constantly think about it. Because you're spending a lot of time doing this, we now need to spend a lot of time doing this. So what I recommend to a lot of my clients and members is to actually try and do two times as much horizontal pulling exercises as you're doing horizontal pushing. Most people end up doing way more push-ups and bench press and dumbbell presses and even holding planks than they ever do single arm dumbbell rows or cable rows, even bent rows, all sorts of seated rows. You need to increase the volume, all that pulling, and this is key, make sure that you're getting the shoulder blades back to pinch together. If you're doing all your rowing and you're finishing here, you're still missing out on the crucial part that's going to keep your shoulders out of this position. We need to lighten the weight a little bit to make sure that you can get them all the way back and pinch those shoulder blades together, really engaging the rhomboids lower and mid trap. If you'd like more free training tips to help you prevent injury and take your body further, then go ahead and click the link that accompanies this video and download a free copy of my Overhaul Protocol Handbook. I'll see you soon.